23rd of December. Come out in the garden just to, you know, tidy up a few bits and film this video, because this will be the last one this year. You know, as it's Christmas time and whatnot. So I thought I'd come out and do this video and just do a couple of little bits while I'm out here. Because I've fallen quite a bit behind with the gardening thing, to be honest, because and a few things. Obviously in my last video I mentioned I had patio was all reflagged, so all this was all new flags, so I spent most of the time actually trying to bring the stuff back down here, because all this lot had to go and just get dumped on the garden, so I couldn't really get up the top end because it was just all shuttered in with stuff. But we'll have a look around. We're not really going to harvest anything today, I don't think. Probably pick some sprouts tomorrow, you know, Christmas Day I'll come out. I think I've got some potatoes in tubs as well. Whether they've rotted off or not, I don't know. But say anything this year, it's been a good year gardening wise. You know, it's had some highs and lows for everyone, I guess. But you go into the new year a bit more wiser, I guess, and you can start your planning now. You've got a couple of months, you know, before you have to really start cracking on. But, you know, I start sowing probably in a matter of about 4 weeks. You know, things like the garlic get started. You know, because there's still plenty of garlic left, so I'll use some of this year's bulbs to start next year's batch. I can start planning on where I'm planting stuff and what I'm planting. There's going to be a few changes this next year. Probably to certain things I grow, you know, there'll be a few new things I'll grow, and some of the stuff, you know, that I won't grow anymore. Because I've had an absolute abundance of stuff this year, so it's been hard to actually keep up with it all. So I could probably ease off a little bit, to be honest. It'll still grow stuff, but you know, I've not even bothered sowing any giant onions, so I'm not doing any giant onions next year. I'll use the space for something else. You know, I might just do more small onions. So, as you know, I don't really grow much through the winter. This is just stuff that's been sat in the pots. Got some rocket here. You know, it looks a bit funny, but it's still alive. So you could plant it up, and if you've got a polytunnel or anything, you can do that. You know, it's fine. Like I say, I'm just coming out and just pick a few dead leaves off this parsley plant. Because if it's still alive, you might as well try and maintain it, and then you can trim all the top off, and in the spring it'll refire again. Try and get some pickings on it for it starts to go to seed. Same with rocket, you know, if you've got some rockets overwintered, you'll get a good crop on that in the early year before the heat hits it and it wants to go to, well, seed. Good rockets to see when it's warm. I'll get the camera and we'll have a quick look round and say it's a bit of a mess, nothing's really changed. It's the stuff that's not been harvested, but it gives you a general idea that it's okay to get behind, and you look at it and you think, oh, I've got to prepare it, but that's just the way it goes. So we'll have a look around. Right, I'll look at polytunnel, absolutely nothing going on here. So this was all full of stuff, so I couldn't even get to the back, you know, and I'd forgotten I'd put my chilies out to dry a while ago. But there's them, and there's another tray of them there. So I'll take them indoors, give them a bit of a clean off, and then I'll just let them dry for a week or two indoors, and then all I do is, because some people don't want the seeds in it, I nip the top off there, or cut the top off when they're dry, and I just put them in a tub and shake the tub about, and most of the seeds drop into the bottom. So then you can just pour it through a colander, and most of the seeds will come out, but you'll still have the actual chilli. Unless you want to keep the seeds in. That's a load of lily bulbs. I need to sort them out and get them planted back out in the box in the front. There's some giant carrots still sort of stored in that tray at the bottom. Apart from that, it's an absolute mess in here. I had to sort some of my raised bed out here because some creosote had leaked out the tub and gone into the bed, so I need to dig that area out because I don't think it'll do the tomato plants next year any good at all. But I can always test it and put a few early season lettuce in there or something like that, just make sure they don't get harmed. We don't want all the problems like we had this year. Got some carrots in there. They won't be much size then, but still, you know, it's something to pick at. Some tiny carrots for your Christmas dinner. There's some potatoes in these pots. Can't remember what. I think it's Duke York in them. Down here, these are all, apart from the 4 new flags, there's nearly 200. No, all of the old flags are lifted up from the patio. So I lifted them all, then had someone out to relay them, and they got halfway through relaying them, and I had to pull them because they did a rubbish job. So I had to make them lift them and relay them again. So that was a bit of an extended job I could have done without. Oh, Brussels sprouts, not as good, a lot smaller, but they've not blown. You know, so I can get picking them. You know, and they've had a frost on them, so they'll be fine. You know, they're a good little button. I think they are Maximus, them ones. Can't remember when I sold them, but they've been in the ground a while because sprouts need a little bit of time. So if you've not got loads of room, it's not a plant to really grow. These are just composting these. A habit of squirrels keep burying nuts in there. But in here, you know, I've got there's some spuds in here still, but a lot of these might be been in here a while. I think these are swift. You know, I might use them or keep them as seed potatoes for next year to start my early ones off with. We shall see. So I've got some spring onions. You know, they look a bit manky, but I can trim them up and use some of them. A lot of the last of the remaining lettuce has rotted off. I mean, ideally you don't want to be doing this, but I've just not been able to get up here. Same as my leeks, a lot of them are bolted. I'll dig them up, chop up whatever I can off them, freeze that when I've got rid of some room in the freezer. Some they're a Durham early, them I think, like a spring green. I'll just pick them for Kane to eat. And here we've got some of the like chicory, the radicchio stuff. That needs cleaning up because it will heart up. And then we've got some more rocket, and I think that's Mizuna. You know, that's okay for stir fries, and Kane will eat it. All that lettuce is died off now in there. This is all stuff that's held back, you know. And I think what's this? There's a spring green called April and Mizuna. You could plant them and they start growing as soon as the temperature pops up. There's nothing in there, nothing at all going on. But apart from that, not a lot's going on. So carrots in that box be sweet candles, so I'll pull some of them. But like I say, you know, it needs a good bit of work up this top end. But it isn't much. You just clear everything, and all I'll do is I'll skim the top weeds off and just cover it with some more compost or like a tarpaulin or something. You know, and it'll be fine. So I've got to make room for these water butts. So I've got some water butts that a neighbour gave me, so I need to find somewhere I can use them for something. But it's getting tight on space. I don't particularly want to lose an area to water when I can grow things. But as far as I know, I think there's some potatoes in these tubs as well. So I need to go through all these tubs, which I'll probably do. I'll clear an area and I'll just pour this compost on top of the ground and then go through it like that and pick some spuds out. Apart from that, there's nothing going on. It's just, like I say, I've not really done much since I come back off my holiday. You know, I had the gig, which went well. To any of you who sent kind messages, you know, thanks for the support and that. But so this is all new flags. Got a bit of work to do down here. Sort the gate out and the shed doors and that. Get all them sorted. And get it back into my sort of little growing area and my prep area. But that's it. That's all that's going on really. Well, that's it for 2021. Just look forward to 2022 now, really, and just see what the year turns out. You know, every year has both good and bad things. You know, and that's just the way it goes. You know, and Christmas time, it's a time to celebrate for most. You know, and for those who've lost, you know, loved ones and friends, you know, family, over the years. You know, it's time to remember them as well. You know, because you do miss them, however long it is. You know, and it's like for me, it's 4 years nearly for my mum now since she passed. You know, and I'll be doing the sweet pea giveaway again. So I'll put the email in the description below. So if you want some seeds, just send us an email, and I'll start sending them out in probably January. I'm not going to send as many away this year because I haven't got that many seeds because I picked a lot of the flowers this year. So I've got some seeds. So I'll probably give, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 packs away this year. So if you just send us an email with your address, and I'll get them sent out to you next month. You know, and then obviously in January I can start getting on with all the, you know, preparing things. You know, because I've not done anything really much since the gig the other week because I played with toothache. So I had a wisdom tooth yanked out yesterday, which was not great, but it's just one of them things. But yeah, hopefully next year will be okay weather-wise, less problems, you know, because obviously I had problems this year with the weed killer and the cold snap. That's just a gamble you take if you start things a bit early. Most things do recover, and you'll get a crop at the end. So I want to say a big thank you to all my subscribers and followers that followed me this year and years gone by. And it's coming up 9 years, 8, 9 years since I've been doing the gardening on YouTube now. And there's still followers who are from right back then, still comment, and get in touch now. You kind of make a bit of an online friendship with some as well. And it's good to see because, they send pictures. Mags, she sent me some pictures of my mum's sweet peas, which it's nice to see, as it is on some videos where they're growing my mum's sweet peas. It's nice to see them, and the pictures that Margaret sent us there with a nice, lovely letter. So, Margaret, thank you very much for that. And it's good to see how other people are getting on. Even if they're like, the newcomers to it, seeing the progress, because they should be proud. If you manage to do something, you've never really done it before, and then you go into it not knowing anything, and you develop it, and you should be proud of yourself. It's like one of my subscribers. I hope she puts on a YouTube channel at some point, and that's Nikki. So Nikki, if you're watching, I hope you get a YouTube channel going. It's good to see how you get on in your garden, how you do things, And Nikki's had a tough year, and she's the same as me. The gardening was a place to sort of get over the obstacles, and the bad times. It was sort of like a bit of therapy, which it is. It's a time to get away and ponder, and move on, the next chapter, so to speak. That's all it is. You can't do anything about your previous page, so you turn the page, you think, right, let's write the new chapter now, and each year for me, I get to New Year, you kind of have things that you wish you had done, but there's nothing you can do about that. You just think, I'm going to the New Year and try and make it happen this year, and that's just the way it goes. So big thank you to all the YouTube sort of gardening family, and same any of you who follow the music as well, because obviously that's part of my life, as is the fishing. And obviously, plenty of birds about, and some of you will have watched over the years, and you'll have noticed when I had Jack, the jackdaw, I still miss him now, and it's well over a year. It's about 16 months since Jack went, but there's jackdaws still around, they sort of know when I'm out, they start coming round and gathering, because I usually put a bit of food out for them, so they kind of know who I am now. And obviously Kane, the tortoise, he's cooped up inside at the moment, it's too cold for him out here. But he'll be back out, probably get to March. If you get some sunny days in March and April, he'll be back out again. But for now, it's safer to keep him indoors, even though he hates it. He'll have a walk around in the house, follows me about, but you just have to watch your ankles, they don't barge into him. Had him down in the kitchen the other evening, he's pondering about in the kitchen and that, eating lettuce and whatnot, and cabbage. But he's fine, he's the same thing every year. He's 14 now, 15 next year, so... Same year, every year, he'll be out, having the sunshine, loving it, and then he'll go back in again. That's just the downside of him being an African tortoise, but he's a little character. But, yeah, big thank you to everybody, and obviously, a big thank you to those who I've watched over the years, like Dan, because Dan gave me a shout out earlier in the year, and it's nice to see people like Dan, mention me, because I learnt a lot from Dan. Anything to do with like growing the giant veggie, so I've learnt it all from Dan, because he was to me, he was sort of like the master at growing the exhibition stuff, the big stuff. And it was a shame to see his polytunnel go down, but he's obviously looked at things and changed his way of planning things, and kind of like, it takes the pressure off when you think, I don't have to grow the stuff, the giant stuff, and you can just do things, because I just grow the giant stuff for fun. Because I think if I did it for exhibitions, I'd put too much pressure on myself, and I wouldn't enjoy it then so much. It's nice to go out. You see it in its state now, it's a mess. And then you go out and you look at it in full bloom in the summertime, you think, I've done that. And that's when you should look at it and think, what? I'm proud of myself. You have to be, because it is quite a remarkable thing to grow your own, and it's what we're designed to do, really. Instinctively we are still hunter-gatherers. It's just a lot of us choose to go down the technological route. But it's a skill that's still around. It's not as popular as it used to be. You know, I suppose that the whole lockdown thing has inspired a lot of people to grow their own. So it's great to see a lot of newcomers, and I hope you stick with it. You know, to show that you can grow your own in whatever space you've got. If you've only got a space for a pot, you can do something with a pot. If you've got a garden, use a garden. If you want an allotment, get an allotment. I'd probably sort of say to people as advice, don't just go out and get an allotment. Maybe share an allotment, or if you know someone who's got an allotment, try it on an area of theirs and just see if it's for you, you know, before you sort of like jump in, you know, both feet, because it can be a bit overwhelming if you're not prepared for it. You know, and there's no set way of doing things, you know. I mean, I do the no dig, but I still do the traditional in some ways as well. So never just stick to one way and keep your options open and always experiment. You know, so big thank you to all the YouTubers like, you know, Nige, Muddy Boots, and Dave's Allotment in Newcastle. You know, Terry King, obviously Tony O'Neill. You know, I've learnt a lot off of all the YouTubers. You know, and it's good to follow people like Wayne from Wayne's Allotment. You know, and just giving little tiny tips. You know, it's like he was struggling growing onions from seed, and I mentioned, you know, that they just need a bit more water to get them because they're a hard seed, and then he was successful with it. So now he's got the confidence to grow onions from seed. You know, which is it's something that you just pick up off somebody. It doesn't have to be anyone, you know, skilled. It could be someone in. You know, I still learn things off people who've just started out. You think, oh, I never thought about that. There's always things to learn. You know, from both new and old school. You know, and come up with your own style. So that's it for this year. So thank you very much for watching and following, you know, for this year and years gone by. And I hope you all have a great Christmas and a happy New Year. And I'll see you in 2022. See you now. Take care. Bye-bye.